Hello viewers, I am Taram Kumar Gondwal, Assistant Professor in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. The following video is prepared as per the syllabus and course outline of Maharshi Dayanand University. However, there are mostly general topics which cover the working and theoretical aspects of civil engineering. For best understanding and conceptualizing clearly, please do not skip the video and watch till end. At the end of the video and each topic and each section, we will be discussing about the related important questions, feasibility and working application. Let's start the video. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's session, we will continue with the subject engineering geology and the topic of discussion which we have been doing since the last two lectures, which is artificial recharge of groundwater. We'll be continuing with that. And after concluding that, we will move to the introduction part of hydrogeology as well. So let's start the video. It is about injection method for artificial recharge of groundwater. So in this method, water is led directly into the depleted aquifers by providing a conduit access such as tube, well or shaft or connector wells. तो जो भी depleted aquifers हैं जिनके water table में water level बिल्कुल down हो चुका है, वहां पे हम tube, well, shaft या फिर किसी भी एक connector well से पानी पहुंचाते हैं. Recharge by injection is the only method for artificial recharge of confined aquifers or deep-seated aquifers with poorly permeable overburden. अगर overburden जो भी overlaying surface है वो अगर permeable नहीं है तो सबसे अच्छा तरीका इंजेक्शन ही है. इंजेक्शन, the recharge is instantaneous and there are no transit and evaporation losses. तो ये काफी fast process है और इसमें कोई transitional और evaporation की वजह से losses नहीं होते हैं. Injection method is also very effective in cases of highly fractured hard rock and karstic limestone, but very high permeabilities are not suitable as they do not allow the water to be retained for long periods for use during dry seasons. तो अगर highly fractured hard rock है उस केस में efficiency थोड़ी सी कम हो जाती है क्योंकि जितनी ज्यादा fractured rock होगा उतनी ज्यादा उसकी durable water retention कम होगी और वो dry season में usable नहीं होगा. However, it is necessary to ensure purity of source water as well as its compatibility with aquifer to prevent frequent clogging of injection structures by bacterial growth, chemical precipitation or deposition of silt. Dual purpose injection wells, that is injection cum pumping wells, are more efficient. So dual purpose injection wells जिनको injection cum pumping well भी बोला जाता है वो ज्यादा efficient है. Connector injection well where saturated shallow aquifer and overexploited confined aquifers are tapped in a single well. तो इस केस में connector injection well की मदद से saturated shallow aquifers और overexploited confined aquifers को tapping करके एक single well में convert कर दिया जाता है, which allows free fall of water from shallow aquifer into the deeper aquifer. जिस वजह से shallow aquifer से deeper aquifer में water free fall की तरह चला जाता है, thereby reducing cost of injection. Injection method is also used as a pressure barrier technique to arrest or reverse saline water ingression. The selection of site for these structures depend upon configuration of confined aquifers, hydraulic gradient, and location of surplus water. It is always better to construct it closer to source to save cost or water conveyance. This technique was successfully adopted at temple town of Bhadrachalam in Andhra Pradesh during 1987 to provide safe drinking water to about 2 to 3 lakh pilgrims on the festival of Shri Ram Navami. And you can pause in the video and read more about this case study, and we will move to the general part. So the hydraulically the effectiveness of induction of water in injection well is determined by तो इफेक्टिवनेस कैसे हम उसकी डिटरमिन कर सकते हैं हाइड्रोलिक वेल में? फर्स्ट इज पंपिंग रेट, second is permeability of aquifer, third is distance from stream, fourth is natural groundwater gradient, and fifth is type of well कि पंपिंग रेट कितना है, हम कितनी स्पीड से पहुंचा पा रहे हैं पानी, परमेबिलिटी ऑफ एक्विफर कैसी है, वो उसमें वाटर रिटेंशन है कि नहीं है, कितना दूर है सोर्स स्ट्रीम जहां से हमें रिचार्ज करने के लिए पानी ले जाना है, वाटर जो टेबल है उसका ग्रेडियंट कैसा है, वो कितना ज्यादा स्लोप पे है, कितना ज्यादा झुकाव है, कितना ज्यादा रिटेंशन हो पाएगा, एंड द टाइप ऑफ वेल. In alluvial areas, injection well can be provided for recharging a single aquifer or multiple aquifers. An injection pipe with opening against the aquifer to be recharged may be sufficient. However, in case of number of permeable zones separated by impervious rocks, a properly designed injection well with inlet pipe against each aquifer to be recharged need to be constructed. The injection wells as a means of artificial recharge are comparatively costlier and require specialized techniques of tube well construction. तो इंजेक्शन वेल को ट्यूब वेल कंस्ट्रक्शन से कंपेयर करें तो स्पेशलाइज्ड टेक्निक चाहिए. प्रॉपर ऑपरेशन एंड मेंटेनेंस आर नेसेसरी टू प्रोटेक्ट द रिचार्ज वेल फ्रॉम क्लॉगिंग, और रिचार्ज वेल को क्लॉगिंग से बचाने के लिए प्रॉपर मेंटेनेंस की और मॉनिटरिंग की भी जरूरत है. सो दिस इज a diagram of artificial recharge through injection well. So as you can see, if this is the canal bank and it is the canal end view, so water is taken from here till here using this pressure gauge and pump. This is the bypass valve for extra water, and this is water meter for regulating flow, and water is induced here, and this area is the aquifer zone where water is pumped inside. And you can pause in the video to read in the specifications of this injection well. Now one more method is induced recharge. It is an indirect method of artificial recharge which involves pumping from aquifer hydraulically connected with surface water to induce recharge to the groundwater reservoir. तो एक indirect method है artificial recharge का जिसमें कि हम aquifer की pumping involve करते हैं और जिसको हम एक surface water से connect करके groundwater के recharge को induce किया जाता है. When the cone of depression intercepts river recharge boundary, a hydraulic connection gets established with surface water, which starts providing part of pumpage yield. तो जब एक डिप्रेशन कोन को हम रिवर रिचार्ज बाउंड्री से इंटरसेप्ट कराया जाता है, एक हाइड्रोलिक कनेक्शन ऑटोमेटिकली एस्टैब्लिश हो जाता है सरफेस सोर्स से, और जो कि अपने आप water provide करना शुरू कर देता है. In such methods, there is actually no artificial buildup of groundwater storage, but only passage of surface water to the pump through an aquifer. तो इस तरह की टेक्निक में कोई ग्राउंड वाटर स्टोरेज बनाने के लिए कोई जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है, बस एक पैसेज बनाना होता है जो कि एक्विफर के थ्रू पंप कर सके पानी. In this sense, it is more pumpage augmentation rather than artificial recharge measure. In hard rock areas, the abandoned channels often provide good sites for induced recharge. Check wear in stream channel at location upstream of channel bifurcation can help in high infiltration from surface reservoir to the abandoned channel when heavy pumping is carried out in wells located in the buried channel. The greatest advantage of this method is that under favorable hydrogeological conditions, the quality of surface water generally improves due to its path through the aquifer material before it is discharged from the pumping well. For obtaining very large water supplies from riverbed, lake bed, deposits or waterlogged areas, connector well are constructed in India. Such wells have been installed in Yamuna bed and Delhi and other places in Gujarat, Tamil Nadu and Odisha. The large discharges and lower lift heads make these wells economical even if initial capital cost is higher as compared to the tube well. तो अगर large water supply चाहिए होते river bed में, तो उसके लिए कलेक्टर वेल्स का कंस्ट्रक्शन किया जाता है, जैसे कि हम इंडिया में कर भी चुके हैं, यमुना बैंक दिल्ली में, गुजरात में, तमिलनाडु में, उड़ीसा में भी। इसकी इनिशियल कॉस्ट ट्यूबवेल के कंपैरिजन में ज्यादा होती है। In areas where the phreatic aquifer adjacent to the river is of limited thickness, horizontal wells may be appropriate than vertical wells. तो जहाँ पे पड़ोसी एक्विफर की थिकनेस लिमिटेड है, वहां पे हॉरिजॉन्टल वेल्स देना ज्यादा अप्रोप्रिएट है वर्टिकल वेल्स के कंपैरिजन में, जैसा कि आप देख पा रहे हैं। Collector well with horizontal laterals and infiltration galleries can get more induced recharge from the stream collector wells constructed in seasonal nala beds. These can be effective as induced recharge structures for short periods only. ये जैसा कि आप देख पा रहे हैं, अगर यहाँ से कुछ इन्फिल्ट्रेशन होके आता है तो ये जो वाटर टेबल है, यहाँ से हम इसको ग्राउंड वाटर को एक्सट्रैक्ट कर सकते हैं। So this is an induced recharge. So this induced recharge resulting from a well pumping. जैसे हम यहाँ से ग्राउंड वाटर है, हम ऑटोमेटिकली यहाँ से पानी एक्सट्रैक्ट कर रहे हैं, तो क्या होगा, यहाँ पे वाटर की जब वॉल्यूम कम होगी तो ऑटोमेटिकली इसको फिल अप करने के लिए यहाँ से पानी परमिएबल मेम्ब्रेन्स, परमिएबल लेवल लेयर्स के थ्रू ऑटोमेटिकली यहाँ पे आके इसको रिप्लेनिश कर देगा। तो दिस इज एन इंड्यूस्ड रिचार्ज। First is a natural flow pattern and second is flow pattern with pumping well. This is natural and this is pumping well, and this is combined. If you can see, it is a reservoir, a place of reservoir, and this is a check dam. This way the stream goes, and here we can use pump wells so that it can induce a recharge. These were the techniques of artificial recharge of groundwater. Now we will discuss about the site characteristics and design guidelines of such artificial techniques. A collection well is a large diameter, say up to 4 to 8 meters well, from which laterals are drilled near the bottom at 1 or 2 levels into permeable strata. तो कलेक्शन वेल का जो डाया है वो ज्यादा बड़ा होता है, 4 to 8 मीटर्स के आसपास का होता है, जो कि ड्राइव किया जाता है या ड्रिल किया जाता है बॉटम में परमेबल स्ट्रेटा में भी। द सेंट्रल वेल is a vertical concrete caisson in precast rings with wall thickness of 0.45 meter sunk up to the bottom of aquifer horizon. The bottom of caisson is sealed by thick concrete plugs, slotted steel pipes 9 mm thick, 15 to 50 centimeter in dia, having open area above 15% and a tapered leading are driven laterally through a portholes at appropriate places in the caisson. तो जो सेंट्रल वेल है वो वर्टिकल कंक्रीट कैशन का बना है, जिसमें प्री कास्ट रिंग्स डाली जाती हैं, जिसकी वॉल थिकनेस 0.45 mm लगभग आधा मीटर होती है, और इसको एक्विफर के होराइजन के बॉटम तक अंदर तक इसको ड्रिल किया जाता है। और जब ये जो बॉटम कैशन है, जो इसकी बॉटम जो टच कर जाता है एक्विफर को, उसको कंक्रीट प्लग से सील किया जाता है, और स्लॉटेड स्टील पाइप जिसकी 9 mm थिकनेस है और 15 से 50 सेंटीमीटर डाया है, उसको टेपर करके उन जो होल्स जिनमें हमें उसको डिजायर्ड जगह पे जहाँ पे हमें पानी रिचार्ज करने के लिए भेजना है, वहां पे उसको फिक्स कर दिया जाता है। द सक्सेसिव स्लॉटेड पाइप्स आर वेल्डेड and driven using special hydraulic jacks installed at the bottom of the caisson. और जो भी एक के बाद सक्सेसिव स्लॉटेड पाइप्स हैं, जो एक पाइप से कनेक्ट होकर दूसरा पाइप लग रहा है, उसको वेल्ड करा जाता है हाइड्रोलिक जैक्स की मदद से, जो कि कैशन के बॉटम में लगे हुए होते हैं। द नंबर ऑफ लेटरल्स इज यूजुअली लेस देन 16, thus permitting minimum angle of 22 0.3 degrees. Between the two laterals, the maximum length of lateral reported is 132 meter and the total length of laterals from 120 to 900 meter depending upon requirement of yield. The laterals are developed by flushing, and if entrance velocity of water is kept less than 6 to 9 mm per second, these do not get filled by sand. The effective radius of a collector well is 75 to 85% of the individual lateral length. So this was all with artificial recharge of groundwater. Now we will move to the topic hydrologic cycle and hydrogeology and discuss about various constraints in it. So in the hydrologic cycle, what happens to the water? That infiltrates into the ground. So it becomes groundwater, as we have been discussing. Fresh water amounts to less than 3% of the water on earth, and groundwater is only 0.6% of the water on earth. Although it is a relatively small amount in the United States, 21% of fresh water we use from groundwater, and in Arizona, 50% of fresh water comes from groundwater. So it is important, particularly in dry and arid atmospheres. So what happens to water? Precipitation on ground surface. तो जो भी ग्राउंड सरफेस पे बारिशों के पानी गिरता है उसका क्या होता है 50% से ज्यादा दोबारा एटमॉस्फेयर में एवेपोरेट हो जाता है. लार्ज अमाउंट ट्रांसपायर्स फ्रॉम वेजिटेशन, वेजिटेशन में यूज हो जाता है. जो भी खेती है, जो भी एग्रीकल्चरल या फिर नॉन एग्रीकल्चरल वेजिटेशन है वो यूटिलाइज कर लेते हैं. Water infiltrates into the ground from stream 15 to 20% and precipitates on earth's surface ending up as groundwater, जिसमें 15 से 20% ground में infiltrate कर जाता है. And water that does not infiltrate from streams and separate runoff to lakes or oceans. और जो infiltrate नहीं कर पाता वो runoff water की तरह lakes और oceans में जाके मिल जाता है. So there are some main factors that influence how much water can get into the ground. तो कुछ फैक्टर्स हैं जिससे पता चलता है कि पानी कितना जा सकता है ग्राउंड के अंदर. स्लोप और स्टीपनेस, अमाउंट ऑफ precipitation if it is rain or snow, then amount of vegetation in the area, and surface material. It must be porous and permeable ताकि पानी easily जा सके. Porosity and permeability are important factors in ground water movement and storage. Porosity और permeability दो important factors हैं ताकि ground water movement possible हो. Porosity is the amount of empty space in a rock measured in percent. एक rock में कितने spaces हैं, कितने empty spaces हैं, इसको percentage में measure किया जाता है. This is porosity. Unconsolidated material, which is sediment or soil, is, for example, gravel, sand and clay. They are porous by about 25 to 80%. Clastic rocks are generally less porous, and these are some average porosities by rock type. So conglomerates and sandstones are porous by 10 to 30%. Mudstones are porous by 0 to 30%, and crystalline rocks such as igneous, metamorphic, or chemically sedimentary rocks, they have low porosities, and with their increasing fractures, their porosity increases. Next is permeability. So it is defined as the capacity of a rock to transmit a fluid, जिसमें से पानी पार होके जा सके. So it depends on pores or fractures are connected with, whether if they are connected with each other. Rock must be permeable to allow infiltration and flow of water, and it should be unconsolidated. If it is sand or gravel, they are very permeable. Plastic sandstones and conglomerates, these are permeable to moderately permeable, and clay, mudstones and unfractured crystalline rocks, they are not permeable. Fractured rocks, they may be permeable if the fracture systems are connected. अगर fractures connected है तो permeable है, पर अगर staggered fractures हैं और inter और non connected fractures हैं तो वो भी permeable नहीं होंगे. So a high porosity does not always mean there is high permeability. For example, clay has low permeability and high porosity, and sand has higher permeability and high porosity. तो हाई पोरोसिटी का मतलब नहीं है कि परमेबिलिटी भी हाई होगी, जैसे कि क्ले में परमेबिलिटी कम है पर पोरोसिटी ज्यादा है, और सैंड में परमेबिलिटी और पोरोसिटी दोनों ज्यादा है. So we have been discussed about aquifers, aquitard and aquiclude. We need not to discuss it again, so you can pause in the video and check it further. Now we will talk about the zone of saturation. Before that, the main rock unit are called, we can look at the zones beneath the surface from the that form when water infiltrates. So when water reaches a zone where all the open spaces and sediment rocks are completely filled with water, तो जब पानी पहुंचता है ग्राउंड में और वहां पे जितने भी स्पेसेस हैं, जितने भी पोर्स हैं, सब पानी से भरे जा चुके हैं, then that becomes a zone of saturation. Water within the pores is called groundwater, and water table, it is the upper limit of zone of saturation. जब सारा पानी पोर्स में भर जाता है, रॉक्स के पोर्स में, सॉइल के पोर में, या जो भी नीचे लेयर्स है उनके पोर में, और जो भी सरप्लस वाटर है वो वाटर टेबल कहलाने लगता है. नेक्स्ट इज अनसैचुरेटेड जोन और नोन एज वेडोस जोन. एरिया अबव द वाटर टेबल वो सारा अनसैचुरेटेड जोन है. ओपन स्पेस इज पार्टली ऑक्यूपाइड बाय वाटर, जो जहाँ पे पानी नहीं है वहां पे पार्टली पोर्स में थोड़ा थोड़ा पानी होता है. Water cannot be pumped by wells in these areas. It includes capillary, fringe and belt of soil moisture. So belt of soil moisture, this belt is formed by water that is held by molecular attraction on soil particles in near surface zone. Capillary fringe, it extends upwards from the water table. Groundwater is held by surface tension in tiny passages between grains of soils or sediments. Now, storage and movement of groundwater. These are the terms used to describe the addition or loss of water from groundwater system and flow of water within it. कितना पानी वो अपने अंदर स्टोर कर पा रहा है, कितना वो मूव इन मूव आउट कर पा रहा है. So, recharge, the addition of water to the ground where water enters the groundwater, ये recharge कहलाता है. Discharge, a place where groundwater is lost to the surface, ये discharge है. And groundwater flow, it flows from high pressure to low, usually from recharge to discharge areas. And this was about storages, and now movement of groundwater. Movement is exceedingly slow. Typical rate of movement is few centimeters per day. Energy for the movement is provided by force of gravity. Darcy's law is used to describe the movement. Darcy's law says that if permeability remains uniform, the velocity of groundwater will increase as the slope of water table increases. In other words, if you think water as moving downhill, it moves faster if the hill is steeper. तो ये कॉमन सेंस की बात है, ग्रेविटी के एक्शन में वाटर फ्लो करता है. Hydraulic gradient is the water table slope and is determined by dividing the vertical difference between the recharge and the discharge points by the length of flow between these points, and this is similar how you would determine the slope of a hill. So this is how it works. Hydraulic head, it is the vertical difference between the recharge and the discharge points. ये hydraulic head हो जाता है. Darcy also found that flow velocity varied with permeability of sediment or aquifer and faster with higher permeability. So by putting all these equations together, if discharge is Q, volume of water flowing through an aquifer, this is Q. Hydraulic conductivity K, it is a factor based on permeability and fluid viscosity. जो भी water है या किसी भी तरीके उसमें जो भी added minerals हैं, उसकी viscosity कितनी होगी, permeability कितनी है, surrounding rocks की, और H1 by H2 by D, it is known as hydraulic gradient, and A is the cross-sectional area of aquifer. So this is how Darcy's law works. So conclusion for Darcy's law is, with increased slope, that is hydraulic gradient and permeability, they have increased discharge, which means volume of water flowing through aquifer. Now, groundwater elevations and contours. The top of water table can be contoured like a topographic contour map of a hill. Groundwater flow is perpendicular to contours. ये important है, याद रखना है. Groundwater flow systems, local and regional. Now we can look at how this works to create flow system and review system of feature. We may be familiar with springs, wells and caves. तो groundwater flow local और regional में किस तरीके से होता है? Now we will talk about springs. They occur where the water table intersects earth surface. जब ground water table earth surface पे आ जाए, it is the natural outflow of the groundwater. And how do they form? They may form as an aquitard creates a localized zone of saturation, which is called a purged water table. They can also be related to fracture or cave system that intersect the surface. तो एक localized aquitard की वजह से भी बन सकते हैं, या फिर किसी फ्रैक्चर की वजह से, एक केव सिस्टम के फ्रैक्चर की वजह से भी वो सरफेस पे आ सकता है पानी. There are two primary types of aquifers, unconfined and confined. We have discussed about it, and this also defines the stream. So change of water table, it depends on water table rise and fall, which happens seasonally. So there are three basic types of interaction between the water table and stream. अब जो stream और water table है, उसके बीच में भी तीन तरह के interactions हैं. First is gaining stream. It gains water from inflow of groundwater through the stream bed. तो जिस stream में ground water से पानी add हो रहा है, that is gaining stream. Second is losing stream. It lose water to the ground water system by outflow through the stream bed. तो losing stream है जो पानी stream अपना पानी ground water को दे रहा है, that is losing stream. Then there is a combination of draining and losing. किसी सेक्शन में वो वाटर गेन कर रहा होता है, किसी सेक्शन में वो वाटर लूज कर रहा होता है. So gaining stream, it is common in wet and humid climates. Losing streams, they are common in arid and dry climates. So aquifer types which are confined, we have discussed about it. Unconfined aquifers are bounded above and below by aquicludes or aquitards, and water is under pressure from overlying rock and hydraulic pressure from recharge. Now in unconfined aquifers we get artesian wells and springs. So artesian well, it is a situation in groundwater under pressure rises above the level of the aquifer. तो एक कंडीशन आर्टेशियन वेल मतलब कि ये तब फॉर्म होता है जब ग्राउंड वाटर प्रेशर के इन्फ्लुएंस में एक्विफर के लेवल से ऊपर चला जाता है. टाइप्स ऑफ आर्टेशियन वेल्स. सो इन फर्स्ट इज नॉन फ्लोइंग, इन विच प्रेशर सरफेस इज बिलो ग्राउंड लेवल. देन फ्लोइंग आर्टेशियन वेल इन विच pressure surface is above the ground, and not all artesian systems are well. Artesian springs also exist. Artesian systems सारे well ही नहीं, artesian springs भी होते हैं. Artificial artesian pressure for municipal supplies. When you see a water tower or tank, you notice that it is high up in the air or in elevation above the groundwater. This creates an artificial artesian situation where the discharge point in the water supply, also known as your faucet, are all below the water level in the tank. So how can we ensure a continuous supply of water? Pumping of well can cause drawdown or lowering of water table and cone of depression in the water table. Groundwater contamination pollution is also a cause which should be checked to ensure continuous supply of water. As we know, water can infiltrate and contaminants also can. पानी भी पत्थर में इनफिल्ट्रेट करके जा सकते हैं और उसके साथ साथ जो भी कंटामिनेट करने वाले पार्टिकल्स हैं वो भी. This can happen from a variety of sources such as landfills, gas stations, industrial wastewater and domestic wastewater discharges, etc. Contaminants percolate downward and dissolve in groundwater. If enough of pollutant percolates downward, it may not get dissolved right away. Instead, the pollutant may float, for example gasoline, or sink, for example chemical solvent depending on whether they are lighter or heavier than water. Once contaminant dissolve, groundwater and pollutants flow down gradient in what is called a plume. Pumping can also create a lowering of the water table, which can draw pollutants into a well. The aquifer type also plays a role in the movement of pollutants. For example, there can be rapid movement in fractured limestones. Movement तेज हो सकता है अगर limestone fractured है, which can leave less time for the groundwater to be purified. फिल्ट्रेशन तेज होगा तो जल्दी से उसमें मिक्स हो जाएगा जो भी ओवर अंडरलाइंग ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्टिंग ग्राउंड वाटर है, तो फिल्ट्रेशन का टाइम नहीं मिल पाएगा और पानी खराब ही ऐड हो जाएगा. मूवमेंट इज स्लोअर इन सैंडस्टोन्स, लीविंग मोर टाइम फॉर प्यूरिफिकेशन. और सैंडस्टोन में कंपैरेटिवली वाटर धीरे धीरे इनफिल्ट्रेट करता है जो कि प्यूरिफाई होकर ऐड होता है. In addition, some pollutants degrade or break down more quickly than others, and many break naturally. ये तो biology पे depend करता है of that particular microorganism or that pollutant, if it is living or non-living. However, it can take decades or much longer for some to degrade. Once contaminants are located, decision can be made about protecting drinking water supply wells, whether or not the additional cleanup remediation is necessary. If natural processes are not enough, man-made technologies may need to be used, reduce or remove the contaminant. अगर जैसे कि अभी हमने डिस्कस करा, अगर प्रॉपर टाइम नहीं मिल पाता है पानी को और वो जल्दी से इनफिल्ट्रेट करके ग्राउंड वाटर में ऐड हो जाता है, तो हमें कंटामिनेंट्स को लोकेट करके वाटर को प्योरीफाई और क्लीन अप करना ही होता है ताकि इट कैन बी फिट फॉर यूज. So this was all with today's session. In next session, we'll continue with hydrolysis cycle and also we will discuss about hydrogeology. Till then, have a great time. Thank you. I hope you guys could understand and correlate the topics taught in today's session. If there is any query or subject matter issue, feel free to mail me at the given email ID. Live discussion sessions could also be used for discussion of doubts. Thank you.